So for help with that, we're going to welcome in accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning, Dan. So nice to see you.
Good morning, Alex.
All right, well, the markets are, of course, closed today for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, but they did close the week up on Friday. But Dan, today, some of the top names in business and the entire world, they're meeting at the annual World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Dan, do you think that concerns over a global recession will be top of mind at the summit?
Yeah, it absolutely will be, because that's what everyone's concerned about is, will there be a global recession? And if you look at the statistics and the data out there, there's reason to be concerned. There is a slowdown of the economic engines of where they used to be to where they are now. So I do think that will be discussed and what could be done about it.
Let's talk a little Tesla. Now, they are just struggling to keep current owners happy as it slashes prices on some of its models in hopes of increasing demand. Dan, will this ultimately be what Tesla needs, or do you think Tesla is struggling to compete in what's becoming a more crowded EV market?
Well, during 2022, Tesla had lower than expected deliveries. So the reason that Tesla, or any company for that matter, puts something on sale is because product isn't moving. So what we see here, perhaps because of increased competition, and also, how about this? Inflation is finally impacting people to the point where they're saying, no more, I can't spend any more money. So if you want to move product, you're going to have to lower your prices. And I think that's where Tesla finds themselves right now.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Home Depot is now changing the way it pays hourly employees, and that change actually kicks in today. So Dan, what is the company doing, and does it actually benefit the employee?
Well, this is something that's pretty interesting. So what Home Depot had been doing, which apparently was industry standard, is that when people punched the clock, it would round up or down to the nearest 15 minutes. So in some cases, you would gain time and be paid more, or perhaps lose time and be paid less. So what they're doing now is that when you punch the clock, it goes to the minute. This way, people are paid exactly for the time worked. I think this is beneficial to both the employee and the employer, because it takes out all this, well, I should have gotten paid more and maybe I got paid too much. That goes away.
Absolutely. I wonder if other companies will follow suit. Interesting. How about this? The top crypto companies have slashed jobs in the first few weeks of 2023, but Bitcoin rose above the 20,000 mark for the first time in 2 months. Dan, is this a sign of things to come, or is it just a reaction to the FTX collapse?
Well, there's no question in my mind that FTX is having an impact here on how crypto is reacting in the market. And you made mention to Bitcoin breaking 20,000 the first time in the last 2 months. Keep in mind that just over a year ago, Bitcoin was at 65,000. So you're talking about a drop of nearly 70% in value. So, crypto continues to be a very volatile investment, and it's hard to say which way it'll go in the future.
How about this? As Americans, they just are continuing to struggle with high inflation. So a December report from Moody's shows the average American family spends $72 more a month on food than they were just the year prior. I mean, Dan, we are seeing inflation come down, but very, very slowly. I mean, how long do you think it will be before Americans actually feel it in their wallets?
Well, right now, the CPI is at 6.5%. So, yes, it's down from what it had been, over 9%. But keep in mind, 6.5% inflation year over year is still terrible. So this is what we're seeing. People are having to pay more for the necessities, and this is what ultimately may lead us into a recession. People simply can't afford to pay more. Look, if you want to resolve the inflation problem, it's to bring supply and demand in line with each other. But the way to do that is to bring supply up. If you're bringing demand down to meet supply, well, that's when you start to go into a recession.
Absolutely. Let's end on a story that I kind of love. So Popeyes has a brand new sponsorship, and it's with a college football player who once became an internet meme after an awkward encounter inside a Popeyes restaurant when he was just 10 years old. We've all seen the meme. We've all used the meme. Dan, what's behind the sponsorship?
Well, it's really hilarious because in that viral video, I mean, he looks like he is scared out of his mind as he's standing in line at Popeyes. So, but look, it's a great story. So it's come full circle. Now, as an NCAA athlete with the NIL agreements and payments, he gets to get paid on something that perhaps years ago was kind of an awkward moment. Now he gets the cash in. Isn't capitalism great?
I love it. And the sign said, from memes to dreams. Absolutely fantastic. Great story to end on. Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Alex.